some eerie entertainment, my children. You know the nice thing about anthology series? I don't have to look at them in order. So, let's go back and take a look at the second issue of the best in illustrated science horror. The first of 3 tales brought to us by dear cousin Eerie talks about our friend the ant. Thomas Gibbons has a meeting with the military for a unique product he wants to sell to them. The ability to control and send ants off on whatever dirty little errand they desire. They would like a demonstration of this remarkable achievement, and he asks for a few days to prepare. Only for us to discover that Thomas is actually an intern for the actual scientist studying this avenue, Professor Poda. Poda absolutely refuses to use his research for military applications, saying that ants are our friends, that when he was abandoned by his family as a child, the ants were the only ones who stuck by him, and that they are not a hive mind, but full of individuals with their own thoughts and desires. But Thomas sees no point in all this unless they can get rich, so he takes matters into his own hands, replacing Poda's regular ants with flesh-eating East African ants. They of course devour Poda, though it takes him 3 days to die. The military are indeed impressed with the technology, and he gets very, very rich. But it seems the ants are quite unhappy about what Thomas did to their friend, the human. For in 6 months, Thomas finds himself locked away in his panic room, with a swarm of ants to see if it takes just as long for him to die. Next up is signaling the end. Dr. Patel meets up with his friend Greg to have the same argument they've been having for a decade. Greg thinks Patel is wasting his life and career on an algorithm that is designed to detect signals in space, looking for intelligent life out there. Greg thinks he'd be better off helping him out with his own research. He feels he's close to modifying human genetics. You can program DNA like you can program a computer. But Dr. Patel may have been onto something, for when he returns to his lab, it has picked up a signal in deep space. It's like music. The signal contains the first 200 prime numbers encoded in binary, clearly only possible with the work of an intelligent source. But Dr. Patel spends almost a day listening to it, so he passes out while the world celebrates proof of intelligent life and must be taken to a hospital. And it's there where Greg realizes the truth. The signal is not just music. It's a program that rewrites human genetics. And within 36 hours, the entire world has listened to the music. And now it broadcasts that same signal as well, with the two now simply wondering, will it ever let them die? Our final tale is An Experiment in Fear. It is 1943 in Germany, specifically a concentration camp. Colonel Kolb has arrived to take charge of the camp and is briefed on an experiment by Dr. Strasser on the prisoner. A person is placed in the room, expecting to be killed, and they just wait, letting their fear overtake them, and then releasing some false alarms on them. Hissing sounds, strange colored mists, and a little bit of actual poison into the air. Not enough to kill, but enough to keep them from relaxing, never become resolved to their fate. To the Nazis, this is simply more proof to them of their superiority. Later, Strasser sneaks away from Colonel Kolb's welcome party to check on his latest victim, only to see that the foolish guards, having snuck away to join the party, have let his subject die. Or did they? When he goes in to check on the corpse, the man escapes and locks Strasser in the room, subjecting him to the same kind of inhuman testing. And of course, Strasser reacts the same way, in utter fear as gas fills the room, unsure if it is poison or not. The other Nazis eventually let him out, but the conclusions of the test on him are the same as the prisoners. Strasser concludes this to mean his theory was inaccurate, but Berlin thinks differently, instead believing that he has secretly been a Jew this whole time, and throw him into the camp alongside the other prisoners, who are no longer separated from him by barbed wire. Eerie little tales of hope and fear, my children. Make sure you have a healthy amount of both, but don't try to get too much of either.
Kabana-kun, did you eat the rest of the ice cream? Kabana-kun, no! Honey, wake up. I just had a horrible nightmare. Kabana-kun, are you impersonating my wife to try to kill me again?